There's a new boogeyman out to take down the housing market, and it's the massive deluge of inventory coming from new home construction. KB Homes reported a 68% cancellation rate in home purchase contracts for the fourth quarter of 2022, and new home inventory, while seemingly leveling off, is at its highest point since, drumroll please, the Great Recession. Human metronome RJ Talks reports 10,000 new home contract cancellations in December 2022 alone, and Carnival Barker Nick Gerli of Reventure Consulting reports 30,000 completed new homes are just sitting on the market waiting for buyers. Nick's getting pretty brazen with his fear-mongering, and to really hit the anecdotal evidence nail right on its head, Real Estate Mindset spent the last week huffing and puffing his way through new developments in Nevada and Arizona. But how much of this forever renter bedwetting is legitimate? Is this pileup in new homes inventory going to crash the housing market, crash prices, or just be a giant pain in the ass for home builders? To answer these questions, you have to understand the three big differences between the new homes market, that is, the market for homes that are newly built and have never had an occupant, and the existing homes market, which is the rest of the housing market, where individual homeowners are selling the homes they live in. Big difference number one, the new homes market is a pre-sale market. For the most part, new homes are sold before they're built, sometimes even before any construction has begun at all. Here's what that looks like. This graph shows new home inventory by stage of completion. In red at the bottom of the graph are completed, move-in ready homes for sale. These homes sell like existing homes, a typical escrow period, and then the buyer moves in. In green, we have homes that are under construction and for sale. These homes sell on a contract. The buyer makes a small deposit, even $1,000, and agrees to secure a mortgage and purchase the home when construction is complete in, say, 4 to 10 months. And in blue, we have homes for sale that haven't even started construction. In other words, empty lots for sale. These homes sell like homes under construction, except that the contract length is even longer, up to 18 months. Now, in normal markets, i.e. when there's not a massive recession or a global pandemic, completed homes account for about 25% of new home inventory. Homes under construction account for about 60% of new home inventory, and homes that haven't even broken ground account for about 15% of new home inventory. During the Great Recession, we saw a huge spike in completed inventory, all the way up to 50%. Half of all home builder inventory was completed before being sold. At the onset of the pandemic, we saw the complete opposite. Completed home inventory dropped from 25% to 8%. At the same time, not started inventory nearly doubled from the usual 15% to 28%. Why? Well, demand outpaced supply so much that home builders started selling their raw dirt at an unprecedented rate. Moreover, check out this graph that shows the median number of months to sell a completed new home once it's completed. At the pricing peak in 2007, it took a median 5 months to sell a completed new home that wasn't sold during construction. That number exploded to 14 months during the downturn. At the recent pricing peak in 2022, it took a median 2.5 months to sell a newly constructed home, and that number has since fallen to 2 months flat. And by the way, all this information is readily available from the Census Bureau. I'm going to link to the site in the description. It's just like Excel spreadsheets you can download. Super easy to read. Nick, RJ, Real Estate Mindset. The new homes market of 2023 is nothing like the new homes market of 2007 or 2008, but are we headed in that direction? In August-September of 2022, trends began to reverse. Not started inventory stabilized around 15% again, and completed home inventory climbed from 8% to 16%. Why? Because in September 2022, mortgage rates topped 7% for the first time in over 20 years. You see, the thing about new home purchase contracts is that they don't lock in an interest rate. Even though the buyer is committing to buying a house, he or she doesn't get the loan until the house is completed. So somebody who signed a new home contract in early 2022 with a September delivery would have seen mortgage rates literally double between contract signing and purchase time. So the fact that so many new home buyers canceled contracts in Q4 2022 shouldn't come as a surprise, given last year's jump in interest rates. It's not that buyers are on strike, as crew-cut grifter Nick Gerli likes to claim. It's that buyers could no longer afford the homes they signed up to buy when rates doubled. And keep in mind, new homes are expensive. The median price for a new home has been less than the median price for an existing home only once, in May 2005, in the last 22 years. In fact, in September 2022, the median price of a new home was $100,000 more than the median price of an existing home. So we're talking about a more affluent group of buyers when we're talking about the new homes market. So as of December 2022, completed new home inventory was still at 16.5%, still well under the long-term average of 25% and far south of the Great Recession peak of 50%. 83.5% of new home inventory is still under construction or not even started. With rates having finally stabilized, albeit around 6%, the hope is that this inventory can be sold before completion and that the completed homes metric doesn't grow past its long-term average of 25%. But what if it does grow past 25%? Well, here's the second big difference between the new homes market and the existing homes market. The new homes market is actually really small. How small? I'll tell you right after I give you a moment to hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'm Jon Schwartz, a real estate investor and realtor in Los Angeles, California, and this channel's focus is going past the headlines to educate, not terrorize, to strategize, not paralyze, so that you can make smart decisions about buying, selling, or investing in this tough market. Subscribe so more videos like this one show up on your homepage. Anyway, this is how small the new homes market is. This graph shows total home inventory across both the existing and new homes markets. In blue, we have existing homes. At the depths of the Great Recession, there were just over 4 million existing homes on the market. In December 2022, we were down to just 970,000 existing homes on the market. That thin sliver of red is completed new homes. During the Great Recession, on top of our 4 million existing homes, completed new home inventory topped out at 199,000. In December 2022, completed new homes numbered 76,000. And remember, that's on top of an anemic 970,000 existing homes. Under construction, new home inventory is in green. That peaked at 336,000 units during the build-up to the Great Recession and peaked recently at 325,000 units in July. And finally, the blue sliver is not started new homes for sale. That metric peaked at 106,000 during the build-up to the Great Recession and more recently at 101,000 in October 2022. So, takeaways. Firstly, the new homes market is a fraction of the overall housing market. A buildup in new home inventory sucks for home builders, but has a much smaller impact on the existing homes market than such factors as mortgage rates, the economy, and demographics. Secondly, before the 2006-2007 bubble and subsequent crash, the existing homes market inventory hovered consistently between 2 and 2.5 million units. For a few years after the Great Recession, we maintained that same level, albeit with much greater seasonality. But since 2014, you can see that existing home inventory has been steadily declining. Since 2014, there have been fewer existing homes for sale than the year prior every year. This trend was exacerbated by the pandemic, but clearly precedes it. So here we are in 2023 with existing home inventory under 1 million units. Just look at this graph. Compare peak inventory in 2022 to peak inventory in 2007. And keep in mind that the US now has 15 million more households than in 2007. And speaking of households, that brings us to big difference number 3 between the new homes market and the existing homes market. The new homes market is a one-sided market, whereas the existing homes market is a two-sided market. Buying a new home is like buying a TV at Best Buy, whereas buying an existing home is like buying a TV on Facebook Marketplace. So what does that mean? New homes are sold by companies that exist to build and push product for a profit. And home builders are actually pretty agile compared to Best Buy, as evidenced by the constant up and down of new home prices. As mortgage rates rise and fall, so do new home prices. When mortgage rates are low and demand is high, builders will build. But when an interest rate shock pulls back demand, builders will pull back hard. And they did. And like extra TV inventory at Best Buy, builders offered incentives and discounts to unload their inventory too. Existing homes, meanwhile, are sold by homeowners who then must either go back to renting, buy another home, or become homeless. Nobody sells a home to become homeless. And with interest rates still elevated and rents inflated along with everything else, homeowners in 2023 are only selling if they need to relocate, or if a divorce or death compels a sale. Yes, a handful of laid-off Google programmers will have to sell their Mission District condos, but the broader picture is a 3.4% unemployment rate with 1.7 job openings for every one job seeker. The deluge of forced selling we saw during the Great Recession is but a forever renter's pipe dream today. So here's some actionable advice. Don't sit on the sideline waiting for new home inventory contagion to take over the existing homes market and crash prices. It's not going to happen. Home prices won't climb this year, but it's foolish to think that new home inventory will have anything more than a negligible impact. If you have the means to buy a new home, now's actually a pretty good time to do it. You'll get great incentives, and some builders are even offering to buy down your mortgage rate for a few years, at which time you can refinance into a new mortgage with, most likely, lower rates than we're seeing now. The primary driver behind home prices this year, both in the new homes market and the existing homes market, is interest rates. Check out this video for my explanation of how interest rates work and where they're headed in 2023.